Hello. With this particular demo of Plickers, I'm going to be focusing on how to implement an assessment in Plickers using your device and managing it from the website. So first off, I'd like to kind of review how to assign questions to a particular quiz, to a particular class. So for that reason, I'm here in the library. I'm under the quiz that I made earlier, the trivia, and I've assigned, by clicking on this calendar, 2 particular questions, and you can see that I've not assigned the last 2. Let me shift over to my phone, and you can see there that first period that I created earlier. I'm going to select it, and there you can see questions that I've added from before. Now, if you do anything, make any changes, here we go. The little circle with an arrow here asks it to update any information that you've done. So here again, I just did an update. I think I had something different. Oh, I guess not. But for demonstration purposes, let's take note. I have a question here from another quiz that was elsewhere. That's a point I wanted to make, that you can assign for multiple quizzes, different questions for one class. And then the other 2 from the new quiz that I had created. Now let me shift back to the website and notice the one about the llamas. I'm going to add that one now. We're going to get it to click here someday. And there we go. It did not want to play nice with me at the moment. So I've added that. I could add another particular class to this one question as well, which is what I did with that first question that you saw. Whatever class I had selected will show up also on the right, the most recent one. So let me add one more. And I gotta scroll down. There we go. Oh, this will happen sometimes. You just have to keep scrolling down to see the last one. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to shift back to my phone, and I'm going to tell it to update up here. And now you can see all of the questions that I have here in my queue for my first period class. Now let me shift back and take you to the live view mode, because if I want to give this quiz, I want to shift over to the live view mode so that my students can take the quiz. And as you can see, when I get here, it's showing me no quiz questions. Well, it tells me what to do right here in the center, which I'm going to shift back over to my phone and show that to you. It told me to basically, in my phone, I need to select a question and get moving, shall we say. So I'm going to select my first one here. And now you can see I'm set up now to, once the students hold up their Plickers cards, be able to scan the room and take in their answers. So I'm going to shift back here. And after I selected my question, this is how my live view screen changed. It shows me the question and it shows me the students. Now, depending on what purpose I have in mind there, I may want to actually let the students see their answers. As they respond, I can very quickly figure out if Jamie was actually paying attention and call Jamie, you need to answer the question. Would be one effective way of looking at this. But you can also, if you want to keep their privacy protected, I can click on the Graph tab and just see based on how many answers I have there. Say I have 20 kids in the classroom, well then I'll know if I've got 19, I'm waiting on 1 student. And I can also reveal the answer, hold back and say, let them not know that who the answer or the answer to the question, and likewise here as well, just depending on your preferences. Here is an option to hide the panel, being the panel, or go to full screen mode if you wanted to make it a little bit larger and readily available for the students to see. And these 2 buttons can change the font size of the question and answers over here as well. I'm just going to go ahead and click Exit, and give me a moment. I'm going to demonstrate how it would look after you have scanned the room. Now I have scanned the room, and you can see here, I left it where you can see the students on the screen. They could see this if they wanted to. I can hit reveal answer, and they can see in color who got what, and I actually usually hide that. From your phone or whatever smart device you're using, this is what you're seeing right now with mine. You can see in the top here left the names of the students, who got what wrong and who got what right, and it starts showing me the data here as well, and that only 5 students out of 15 who have answered. When I'm ready to go to the next question, I would click this little check mark. So I'm going to do that. Then it shows me, uh-oh, I didn't do so well. My students, I might need to reteach something because only 40% of them managed to get that particular question right. All right, so I hit the little caret here, the top left, to go back to my set of questions, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next question by tapping it on my phone. And this one's a true-false. You can see on my phone which one is the correct answer, and I'm going to go ahead and scan one more time. Okay, so as you can see, I had students do a little better with this one. 3 correctly chose A, or true in this case, and we had 1 that chose B for false. But notice, I did this on purpose, I have Sarah Duncan who chose D, and notice how hers is grayed out. Well, that's because this is a true-false type of question, and D is not an option, so that's why it's gray. So I could have her say, okay, Sarah, you need to redo that. I scan it, and automatically it reassesses Sarah's answer as incorrect in this particular case. And now I'm going to assume that I've only got 5 students out of my 15, and I'm going to tap on my check mark. And I can there have a quick assessment of how well they did. 60% did right this time around, and I can see what students were missing again. I'm going to go ahead and hit my, or actually before I hit my little back button, let me show you the 3 dots, what options I have there. I can scan some more, say the students walked in a little late from recess, what have you. I can clear the responses and let them have a redo moment, because we all know that does happen on occasion. But I'm going to hit cancel, or you can archive the answers as well. So I'm going to hit cancel and go back and go to one more question by tapping on it. She's at Jules Verne, and there you can see it. I'm just, for sake of demonstrating the reports later, going to go ahead and scan these answers in, and then I'll pick back up in the reports to show you what you can see. Okay, so I have finished giving my test, and I have shifted from the live view mode, which is over here. You can see now it's empty again, to the class reports. And oh, it reselected all my classes, but I can deselect so I can see only what I just have taken a look at. And I forgot, whenever you click first, it'll automatically select only that one class. So now I'm down to my first period class and the 3 quiz questions that I have given, and in one screenshot I can see fairly quickly the percentages broken down per question, and that can be a fairly handy way to ascertain if I need to reteach something, or maybe it's just a bad quiz question that I have. And I can take it further by clicking on an actual question and seeing exactly who was doing what. And this is something of you I showed you earlier when I was reviewing the library. And I can revert back to where I was in the reports by clicking on this back to question history. And there we are, all of the questions that I have given. All right, that's a pretty handy way to review the data and have an understanding of how you want to inform your instruction going forward, after allowing the students likewise to have an opportunity to see their answers and get live feedback. One last note I'd like to add at this moment, on the the Plickers cards, some people question why the letters are so small on each corner of the card where it says A, B, C, and D, and as well as the numbers. And really that's about protecting privacy so that students don't just look at their neighbor to try and figure out, well, should I choose A or B? What did Sally choose? It is to protect their ability to recognize that and keep the test pure, if you will. All right, that is it for this demonstration.